Rio is the male, Dark Eyes the female, and the pup doesn't have a name. We jokingly call her Broomhilda.
What's the best thing
For me?
yeah, for this program, for you personally?
Oh, for me personally, to see these guys out there thriving, reproducing successfully, taking down live prey, native prey, that is. Those could be a problem. They could get hit by cars. They could not, find food.
We're only in public place.
I don't know how far.
I just got the tail end of what you were talking about. The father of the male that's coming here was named what?
The father of him is Francisco.
Francisco.
Yeah, and let me see if I can explain this.
And that wolf's
Father was Don Diego, which was the last wolf taken in Mexico and brought into captivity. So his grandfather,
1980 was that?
I believe it was in the 80s, yeah.
Chosen.
For a variety of reasons. I'm not the best person to answer that question. I wasn't involved in that aspect of it, but from obviously the habitat, because it's near elk calving area, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
The winter ranges for the elk is over to the east there, and the summer ranges are to the west. So about the time when we release the wolves, the elk will be traveling through this area. And so that's what we're hoping to do, is stimulate the hunting by having the elk coming through here. And then of course the elk will calve in the calving area May and June. And we hope
Yeah. There was a whole bunch of sites originally. I think there was 15 that they started out with, and just by process of elimination. I mean, we looked at available prey, water, public use, that sort of thing, so we wouldn't be limiting, access, these sorts of things. So, and then one by one they got chopped down until we were left with a few sites to choose from, and this was one of them then.
Could you explain what kind of you're releasing you're going to do here?
Why we're releasing this time of the year? Well, we're putting them out here right now. The hope is in February that they will breed. That's their breeding season, that they'll breed within the enclosures, and then we'll want to release them prior to actually whelping so that the pups are actually born in the wild. So that was the key thing. And then also the timing of the elk calving season was another big reason.
Yes, it is.
Calling areas in, getting some real tight, extreme close-ups.
Okay.
Faces or hands. This one state line is probably 7 miles. Where's Jim?
So you want to do some wide? You can do some wide stuff now.
That's your answer.
Okay, because I've got.
Shadow on the boom pole right here. Shoot 303. See the shadow right there? Yeah, I see it not move too much.
Wayne? Wayne?
Hey, you know who's got the mic on? Yeah.
That's the pup.
Let's go. This doesn't one reason maybe 3 feet of snow uphill. This is where we get fish. Just a bit of a squeeze. Okay. Got it? Must have been pretty exciting. Holding that crate, walking in there, seeing that wolf bound out of there. What was it like for you?
Well, you know, I grew up in this country, and we always wondered what it was like when the Mexican wolf could herd my own ancestors. I gotta tell you, I never dreamed the day would come when the Lobo would be back. It's gonna be good for everybody. It's a great achievement. Really wonderful.
Talk to me about the effect of the endangered species here. There are a lot of endangered species. It looks like there's quite a bit of recovery going on here. Very active.
You know, a wonderful success story. I mean, if you look at the Southwest, the way the trout species are coming back, the California condor reintroduction, now this, we've seen the jaguar for the first time down in southern Arizona. It's a wonderful act of restoration. I think it talks to the human spirit, to our ability to live on this landscape in harmony with God's creation.
There's talk, Southwest Center for Biological Diversity would like to bring some grizzly bears here, Mexican grizzly bears. Any chance we could see those? How do you feel about that?
There are no plans to that effect. I'm not sure that, I doubt that this is appropriate habitat. I think what we ought to do is concentrate on making the wolf a great success and proving that we can live on this landscape together with nature, with ranching, with resource extraction activity. That's really what this is all about. We can live on room, vibrant ranching industry, room for a lot of good wildlife. All we have to do is manage it, there are depredation problems, recognize them and take care of them.
Sir, can you tell us about the dramatic turnaround? This government wants to pay bounty hunters to kill these same wolves. Now we're reintroducing these wolves to the environment that they left many years ago.
Well, my hope is that we can think of this landscape in the way that it was. We made mistakes. My family and my ancestors, part of the movement that said, not we're going to come to without standing on it.
Your own family, then, with the ranching background, has made a turnaround. How do you hope to convince existing ranchers who don't agree with you right now to see the light?
Well, the answer is we need to work together. I had a long discussion with a lot of elected officials. Pledge. If I can commit to keep working this, keep managing.
We've got an hour, plenty of time. We got to move away from the wolves a little bit uphill.
Anybody missing a thermos?
So why don't you describe how you feel right now, Wendy?
Oh, this is a great day. This really is. It's been a long, long road, and it's just incredibly exciting to have an animal that has literally been well down the path to extinction take this first step towards freedom.
And how many different wolves will be released this spring?
We're moving 11 wolves into acclimation pens here, three different family groups.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Childhood out here. Never dreamed that the day would come in my lifetime when you can hear the howl of a wolf and sense the mystery and romance of the landscape that was here when my ancestors came in, which we kind of lost along the way. Now we're restoring.
What's your greatest hope now for this beginning today? How would you like to see that?
And live without pushing God's creation aside and bring it into our lives. I have a sense of the reverence of creation, of a way, a whole new way, living a little more like it.
The people who are afraid to met with some Native American, when there was somebody at the thing in Washington, in the sense of the government matter if they said bring Chief Cherokees.
How do you feel, Bobby?
Well, Rick, today we did a wonderful thing. We righted a terrible wrong that our forerunners wished on us. We put the wolves back where they belong in the wild, the first step. And like I said last night at the reception, I'm sure God's smiling up there. Vaya con Dios.
What do you hope what do you hope the situation will be in 10 or 15 years? Do you hope that there'll be wolves all across the area? I hope that in 10 or 15 years, people and nature will be living in harmony. We'll all have come to understand there's a big way in now west. There's plenty of room for God's creation, human activity. What we're doing is healing a lot of the mistakes of the past. There's some apprehension and some uncertainty. I'm absolutely, personally convinced that we're going to be a much better society, have a much better understanding of ourselves. This is a big moment for the human spirit. We're going to be good neighbors, but we're going to have to work at it, and we're going to have to deliver on our promises that if individual wolves become problem predators, we're prepared to deal with it. I fully intend to deliver on that because there's room enough out here. We're all going to be richer, better people for living in harmony with God's creation.
A number of environmentalists have said that their ambition is to rewild the West. Is that an ambition of yours?
Well, I think we need to take this a step at a time. The West belongs to all of us, and there's room for all of us, a lot of important resource activity, and it's not one or the other. I think there are too many people who are saying, the West must be an industrial wasteland or a wilderness without people. I don't buy that. I think we're richer for living on the landscape and doing it in harmony with God's creation, including these species that we bring back and restore to give us a sense of the richness and the depth of our heritage.
There are plans also to restore, very early plans or discussions to restore the grizzly as well. Is that something you can comment on at this point, or is that?
There are no plans to restore the grizzly in this area. This area has got a matrix of a great deal of activity. This is not Yellowstone National Park. This is a working landscape, and I think that each landscape needs its own kind of analysis, and what we have to do is find a balance that works for the communities, for the people in them, and for the natural systems as well.
Thank you very much.
That's your PBS station.
Yeah, yeah.
How much of that will get?
Tucson.
Yeah. Well, it's PBS broadcasting there, primarily liberal.
No, I like PBS.
You really can't find it. It ain't there to find. Early on, we had about 50 people. Very pleasant turnout. We hope that we got our point across to the majority of the people.
All the media, that's
the media, yeah. And we're quite concerned about a number of issues on this thing. The one being that we believe the wolf is just merely a tool in addition to the endangered species, which will limit our access to public lands, both for consumptive use as well as recreational use. And we think that it's part and parcel of the overall plan to basically close down most of our public lands.
Are they going to do that?
Oh yes, they're already doing it. 48 of your national parks, 22 monuments, and much of the land around them are now classified as international biosphere reserves under the United Nations.
But does that mean you can't go in them?
That means you have limited access, and in some cases you cannot go in there.
What about around here?
They are limiting our access by road closures at the present time.
Where's that happening?
Right here, they closed 3,000 miles of road in the last couple of years.
Who, they mean the Forest Service? Or
The Forest Service. Hey.
I think.
The Forest Service is primarily the facilitator of the closures, but they may not have been the ones that ordered them.
How are the wolves closing down for open?
Well, we believe, and I think we'll see in a short time, that once the wolves are released, being another endangered species, there will be certain criteria like there is on the owl and other species that will limit our use of public lands. And for grazing, logging, recreation, hunting. Do you think it's going to, if they get 100 and some wolves out here, you think they're going to let these guys hunt lion with hounds? They've been doing it for 200 years, and they're not going to be able to do it because it'll disturb the animals. It's not, you know, it's not just my opinion. Really, I want to talk to some of these other folks around here because this little group here is small now, but we've had, like I said, there's been about 50 people, and they all represent the opinion. Some of them came from New Mexico.
Yeah, I talked to those guys.
Some of them from Alaska. We had some from Phoenix. That are guiding outfitters, hunters, other people that use public lands.
So it's not from one group?
No, and we're definitely not happy with the way that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service shoved this down our throat. And there is a lawsuit pending.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, who filed it?
Well, it hasn't been filed yet, but the Blue School District, Blue Arizona, the Blue Primitive, is researching the possibility and will probably file for an injunction before these wolves are released, based on the fact that their economic impact study was bogus.
Who's going to file it?
The Blue School District, with support from the locals.
On what basis do they say that the environmental impact statement was bogus?
The economic impact study was definitely bogus.
How?
And so much as they said that the ranchers and logging was insignificant. But what they did is they put the stuff in a computer and they put it on a national program and in a national computer with the number of cattle sold out of here in relationship to what's sold in the rest of the United States. Yes. In that instance, you could classify it as insignificant. But what you're saying is, I'm insignificant, my family's insignificant, and we don't believe in that.
Are you with the Alpine Blacksmith?
I am the blacksmith.
Okay, gotcha. So you're the owner and you have the ranch.
My family.
He put it on his government expense account.
Who you guys?
Smart card, yeah.
Bighorn sheep, elk, and deer. The endangered species, and wolf in particular, are going to affect that business. The dollars he brings in to feed his family, his are spent in this town. All been limited use in the area, and soon will curtail the hunting of hounds, and lion, and bears, and the other things.
so much, and as soon as so much disappears, Game and Fish is going to cut my tags, my people that draw, anybody that draws.
Species that's not indigenous when the indigenous species is already in existence. That was just proven in Yellowstone when a federal judge ordered the removal of the reintroduced wolf.